Echoes of the heart. When you first enrolled me in kindergarten, I kicked and screamed, tears streaming down my face. Each evening, you cradled me in your arms as the last remnants of my fear faded away, and then you'd send me back the next morning. I wish I could convey how your unwavering belief in my strength and potential helped mold me into the vibrant person I am today. You never wavered, even when I strayed. You were always there, brushing off the dirt and putting me back on the right path. Now that guiding light is dimmed, and a hollow space fills my heart. In third grade, a classmate gifted me a set of toy trucks that I loathed, and I promptly returned them to her, leaving her bewildered. Your disappointed voice, flavored with frustration, still resonates within me. Accept gifts with grace, you warned me during our long drive home. From that day on, I learned to accept gifts, especially those from you. The joy in your eyes when you handed me a meticulously wrapped box each Christmas, only to reveal cozy scarves, filled my heart with warmth. Your handmade creations wrapped lovingly around me were like hugs on winter days. I wish I had thought to ask you to teach me how to knit, to carry forward that same love into my own family one day. I still remember the terrifying night you rushed me to the emergency room, my little body racked with chills. Your anxious fingers fidgeted while the doctor delivered the news, pneumonia. As I lay there in the hospital bed, you kept vigil on that unforgiving couch, never leaving my side. I didn't understand the discomfort you must have felt, the exhaustion that threatened to overwhelm you. You were my anchor as I struggled against my fears, comforted me against the sting of needles, and wiped away tears when frustration overtook me. I wish I had given you the thanks you so rightfully deserved for being my steadfast rock, for embodying warmth in that sterile, cold room. Throughout my teenage years, I flared with rage more times than I can recall. Each time, your silence spoke volumes. You never fired back, my harsh words bounced off your calm demeanor like raindrops off a smooth stone. I wish I'd had the wherewithal to ask you your secret. How did you remain so patient, so resilient while I was at my worst? When I was 18, I introduced a significant other to our home for the first time. You had always used that running joke about the frogs, the signals of your approval. When you asked, "Do you hear the frogs?" my heart leaped. I had brought home a girl, not a boy, and your quiet delight filled the room with an unspoken acceptance. I wish I'd told you how much that moment meant to me, how right it felt to share my life with you, to know that love was love no matter its form. Fast forward to my wedding day, my dress draping gracefully around me, a vision you had carefully helped me create. You were the first to see me in it. In that moment, your face lit up into a smile that radiated happiness. You'd always had a preference for softer smiles, but I could see the joy glimmering in your eyes, the kind of smile that belonged in every cherished memory. I still remember how I called you, bubbling with joy, when I landed the job of my dreams in Seattle, 3,000 miles away. That moment, though full of excitement, was also laced with an aching sense of separation. I could almost hear your hoot of joy ringing in my ears, and in my mind's eye, I could picture your warm smile beaming with pride. I wish I'd told you how much I truly missed you, the warmth of our shared meals, and the comfort of our conversations filled with laughter. Yet, life got busy. Instead of weekly calls, months drifted by in silence. I should have told you everything, my struggles, my children's antics, your unfulfilled wish for grandkids. I wish I could have shared how they adored your stories, your yarn creations, carrying forward the legacy I took for granted. In retrospect, I would have rushed back sooner. I should have been there by your side, respecting the fragility of life that you always cherished. You lived each moment like a beautiful tapestry, while I took mine for granted. I finally understood the lesson you imparted. Oh, how I yearned to hear your voice once more, feel the reassuring warmth of those hand-knit scarves, or see your delighted smile. I longed to share all the words I never found the courage to say. In the quiet moments we shared before your time faded, you whispered to me, "Have no regrets." How I wish I had seized that opportunity to speak, to express all the gratitude and love that was bottled up inside me. But now, silence hangs heavy in the air, and all that's left are the echoes of my heart, longing to tell you everything that remained unspoken. As weeks turned into months after your passing, the silence in my home grew louder, an echo of the conversations we used to share. The warmth of your presence faded into bittersweet memories, haunting my thoughts like an old, familiar song. I could still hear your laughter, the way it danced through our living room, filling every corner with light, and every laugh sent waves of longing through my heart. One rainy evening, as I rifled through the attic searching for a forgotten box of childhood keepsakes, my fingers brushed against a worn-out notebook. Its cover was frayed and faded, a testament to years of handling with love. I opened it to discover a treasure trove of your handwritten notes, thoughts, anecdotes, and sketches of moments you cherished, moments we lived together. Among the pages I spotted a list titled, Ways to Embrace Life. My heart raced with the recognition of your loopy handwriting cascading across the page. You had jotted down reminders for enjoying every moment, appreciating the little things, and nurturing love in all its forms. Beside each note, you had illustrated small doodles of flowers, birds, and whimsical creatures, symbols of your boundless imagination. Tears pricked my eyes as I read through the list. You had taught me so much about the importance of kindness, family, and connection, but I had never truly realized the depth of your wisdom until now. Struck by a sudden impulse, I grabbed a pen and started adding my own reflections under each note. Thoughts about the kids, my evolving relationship with my girlfriend, and the way your love had helped shape my spirit. It was as if I were having a conversation with you again, one that transcended time and space. The weather that evening mirrored my emotions, a mixture of storm and calm. I poured my heart into that notebook, the pages becoming a canvas for everything I wished I had said. I added new sections titled Memories and Things I Wish I Could Share with You, detailing the joys and struggles of everyday life. I recalled how your hands knitted countless scarves, how those scarves always seemed to hug me tightly when I wore them, and how I now wished to create such warmth for others. Weeks turned into months as I filled the pages more and more. I started knitting again, with every stitch a tribute to you. Each completion brought a sweet warmth, reminding me of the joy we'd once shared. I fashioned scarves, blankets, and hats, not just for me but for friends, for children in need, for anyone who needed that touch of warmth, just as you had so generously wrapped around me. With every creation, I held a little ceremony of my own, thanking the universe for you, the guidance you had provided, the courage you had instilled, the unconditional love that had been our greatest gift. And soon, the act of giving began to fill the emptiness you had left behind. My heart started to weave itself back together, each gesture of love stitching new threads into the fabric of my life. Then, one crisp autumn day, I set out for a local community event. It was a gathering to share handmade goods and support families in need. With a sizable basket filled with my creations, I navigated through a small but lively crowd. The vibrant colors of fall painted the backdrop, but the atmosphere, filled with laughter and conversations, felt bittersweet without your presence. As I began to set up my booth, I noticed a familiar face in the crowd, Luna, a friend from my college days and an aspiring artist. We exchanged warm hugs infused with nostalgia, and soon, she was asking about my projects and the inspiration behind my knitting. I've been weaving little pieces of love, you could say, I admitted, a lump forming in my throat. This was all about my mom. She always knitted with passion. Her eyes softened, understanding reflected within them. She sounds wonderful. You know, my mom used to paint. I lost her too, 2 years ago. When I create, I feel her around, like she's guiding me. In that shared moment, we found a connection, bonded by our shared grief and love for our mothers. We chatted into the evening, sharing stories and laughter, healing bits of our souls together. When I revealed my notebook, she asked if she could read it. Nervous but willing, I handed it to her. As she read, her eyes glimmered with understanding and admiration. Your words are beautiful, she said, a tear slipping down her cheek. I think your mom would be so proud of all you're doing, keeping her spirit alive. That affirmation kindled something deep within me. For the first time, I felt that maybe I wasn't just honoring your memory, I was also creating a new legacy. You taught me how to love, and in caring for others, I could share your love in every scarf, every story, every smile. Luna suggested we collaborate, combining her art and my crafts to create a community art project, something magical that honored both our mothers. From that day on, we worked together, building a nurturing space, one filled with creativity and compassion where people could gather, share, and remember their loved ones. Each workshop transformed not just the lives of others but also my own heart, as we forged a community that celebrated love in all its beautifully diverse forms. With each passing moment, I realized you were still with me, guiding me to cherish life and spread warmth. I wished more than ever to share this journey with you, to feel your presence wrapped around me like one of those beloved scarves. In my mind, I could hear your laughter, encouraging me forward, urging me to embrace every precious moment, live without regrets, and most importantly, to keep giving love, just as you had given it so freely. And so I stitched together the memories, the laughter, the tears into a tapestry of new beginnings, a celebration of you. I would continue to share your legacy, igniting warmth in the lives of others, one knotted thread at a time. As autumn transitioned into winter, our community art project flourished. Workshops blossomed into gatherings filled with colors, laughter, and a myriad of voices sharing their stories of loss and love. Each session attracted new faces, each carrying their own burdens yet looking for a place to breathe and find solace. Together we crafted not just art but a safe space where healing could take root. In those chilly evenings, the soft glow of fairy lights illuminating our gathering became a home for memories and reconnections. I shared stories about you, my mother, the woman whose kind heart and warm hands had taught me the power of love and creativity. We would knit, crochet, and weave while sharing memories of those we had lost. Scarves, blankets, and colorful wall hangings told silent stories, each thread infused with emotion and remembrance. As I stitched into existence a large community mural, an ambitious centerpiece showcasing the intertwined lives we each had to offer, I found myself centered in the creative flow. I painted swaths of brilliant colors, organic shapes flowing into one another, signifying unity and connections that life had woven together. Each brushstroke became a tribute, a dialogue with you, a reminder of how love transcends even the deepest sorrow. One evening, as the winter winds howled outside, we gathered for a special event, an exhibition to showcase our collective works. Luna and I carefully arranged the pieces, including my mural adorned with the words, "Love knows no end," surrounded by handmade scarves and cozy hats that would go to local shelters. I could feel the energy in the air crackling with excitement, buoyed by shared purpose and collective healing. The night was filled with laughter and an outpouring of hope. Families and friends mingled, the warmth of connection weaving through the chilly air. As I stood back to admire the mural with Luna, I felt a familiar presence wrap around me. I closed my eyes, flooding my thoughts with visions of you, your laughter echoing, your arms creating a shield of love around me even in this moment of celebration. When I opened my eyes, I felt compelled to say a few words to everyone gathered. Taking a deep breath, I stepped up to the makeshift stage, my heart racing. Thank you all for being here tonight. Each piece here represents not just lost loved ones, but also the love that transcends loss. My mother taught me that love is eternal, that it travels through stories and art. It doesn't fade away but transforms and grows. I paused, allowing my gaze to flit over the crowd, each face reflecting vulnerability and hope. While we might feel alone in our grief, we aren't. We are stitched together by threads of shared experiences and memories. Let's continue to honor those we've lost by sharing love with the world. Applause erupted, a chorus of acceptance and understanding echoing around me. The warmth of their support filled my heart with joy, erasing the fear that had once gripped me. That night, standing under the soft lights, I felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude. But more importantly, I felt you with me, not in spirit alone, but in every hand I had held, every laugh shared, and every heart opened. That winter, the warmth I had begun to weave into my community blossomed into a tradition. We organized holiday donations, shared stories over cups of steaming cocoa, and created more opportunities for others to connect and heal. Each year as the seasons turned, our community continued to grow, weaving tighter connections fueled by love and remembrance. Often, I would find myself incorporating new elements into the workshops, stories of different cultures, celebrations of unique identities, and reminders that love comes in many forms. On the anniversary of your passing, I organized a tribute in your honor, inviting the community to knit their own contributions, scarves, squares for blankets, and even written notes of love that could be stitched into larger works. As we gathered around, the air was filled with warmth and stories. In the gentle hum of needles clacking together, I found solace. As the final threads of each creation were knotted together, I realized I had crafted not just art but a legacy, your legacy. When I finally unveiled the large quilt composed of individual squares, each telling a story of love and loss, I felt a tremendous sense of accomplishment, as if you were standing right there beside me, beaming with pride. Weeks passed, and soon it was hard to believe that so much time had gone by since we had first embarked on this journey together. Just before spring began to bloom, Luna approached me with a proposal. Let's take this further. Let's partner with local schools to teach kids about love, creativity, and loss, how to express themselves through art and connection. The idea sparked excitement within me. In honor of you, we could create a space where children could learn to express their emotions, allowing them to grow not just artistically but empathetically. I agreed fervently, knowing that it was indeed a way to continue sharing your warmth and love with the world, passing down what you had given to me. And so, as spring flowers began to bloom, we launched our first program. Standing in front of a group of wide-eyed children, clutching shiny new paintbrushes and skeins of yarn, I felt an outpouring of love and connection like never before. I guided them through the process of channeling their feelings into art, just as you had encouraged me to do all those years ago. With each child's laughter and creativity bursting forth, I found myself reflecting on everything I had learned from you, the unconditional love, the untamed spirit, and the profound understanding that life was meant to be embraced fully. As I looked around at the vibrant colors we crafted together, I was filled with joy and purpose. I understood that the true essence of love is in its continuity, boundless and ever-present. You had once said to me, "Have no regrets," and as I stood there leading those children, I realized I was finally living that truth. In every moment shared and each legacy created, I had found you once again, not just in distant memory but alive in the connections we forged and the lives we touched. The world felt a little warmer, a little brighter, and I knew that as long as I held on to the lessons you'd imparted, your spirit would forever entwine with mine, echoing through the love that knows no end. And in that realization, I finally felt a profound sense of peace.